What's going on, my peoples? It's your boy Kenny, man. I'm back one time for your mind. Let's get into this real quick. Sharon Osbourne did an interview with Bill Maher on the real time with Bill Maher, his show. And because I gotta clean my carpet today and help my wife paint. So let's get into this real quick. So she did a show with she did an interview with Bill Maher, and this was my issue, my real issue is with this interview is that the problem I'm having is that the lack of awareness of their right wing um talking points, the racist tone behind both of them. Bill Maher, because Bill Maher is just a straight up racist. Like, people need to really truly understand Bill Maher. Bill Maher is one of those white dudes that I told you for about a couple of decades, to where like a lot of hold on, give me a second. Hold on, people. Hold on. All right, I'm back, people. I had my wife came in from the store. She forgot something at Home Depot. She wanted to go back. I'm in the room, man. I ain't even got up to bed yet, but I was watching this shit. So yeah. So, like, let's just be honest. Bill Maher has been one of those white people that for a long time that I told you, for some decades, maybe around like the 90s, where white people were starting to get in this mode of like these like, they're older now, but back then they was like in a mid 30s or early 30s, early 20s, and they was in the era where they was being taught how to hide their racism by not being blatantly racist. So, and I'm talking about, it doesn't matter if they're a Democrat or a Republican. They because all you do is watch Joe Biden, watch Jim Crow Joe. He does almost the exact same shit. Um, with his undertones of talking and how he talks to black folks. It's a almost of a arrogance, almost of a how dare you question me, like, type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they almost like, I've been riding with black people. I've got black friends. Barack Obama. I was Barack Obama's vice president. I supported Barack. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Okay, but Bill Maher is one of those guys he's a in a closet. He was an in a closet racist. He used to can hide his racism, and then he would hang around black people, and they would say, well, he was dating black women and shit like that. Listen, man, they used to rape black women slaves back in the day. The slave owners, they like black pussy. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. And think about a lot of the black women that Bill Maher fuck with. And let's be honest, I'm not disrespecting black sisters and shit like that, but some of these sisters that he was fucking with was hoes. He was fucking with the bitch Superhead. That bitch is she was a porn star. She was a video vixen / turned into a fucking porn star. Okay, I think she did like 1 or 2 porn scenes or some shit like that. So he was fucking with hoes. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't fucking with real black women like that. You know what I mean? That was respected. But anyway, Bill Maher is an inner closet racist, my people. And him getting called out about a year or two ago by the black community for that racist ass joke of him using the N-word, and black people came on his show and checked him a little bit. It should have went farther than that. Ice Cube should have really went off on his ass even more. But and D.L. Hughley and all them still forgiving him for these racist ass joke. And like I said, I don't give a fuck. You can call black people sensitive. You can call us whatever the fuck you want, or too woke. You can call it whatever you want. Because I know now Black people too sensitive because we talking about the issues that a lot of you white folks didn't want to talk about. So, and swept to the side and ignored black people's issues in this country. And so now we woke, we too woke now. So we all know that that's just they racial slurs now. You didn't switch that shit and turn it into a racist slur. So you get what I mean, or almost trying to play victim or trying to act like we the ones are still the problem. That's why I say they racist tropes that they using towards black people. This wokeness, or we sensitive. You goddamn right I'm sensitive when it comes to my people. You motherfucking right. I'm very sensitive about my people. I'm very sensitive about you racist pieces of shit of coming at my people. You goddamn right I'm sensitive. And I'm gonna stay sensitive because the day I stop being sensitive and I start not giving a fuck about, and I let shit slide and I forgive and let's just move on, it's not that serious type of shit, then I'll be a fucking sellout. And I ain't no fucking sellout. I'm not a Candace Owens, so I'm going to be sensitive about this shit. But anyway, let's move on. Let's get into this, people. This interview with Sharon Osbourne. And like I said, and about Sharon Osbourne too, before we get into this. Sharon Osbourne is a goddamn racist her fucking self. Just like, and like I said, sometimes these white people, they don't even have the time, they don't even know that they're racist. Because they've been so privileged and so thinking that because they know black people, they allow black people to work in their house, or they ate supper with black people and shit like that. They don't understand that the racist history of their own people still creeps up into them. Because I remember her fucking funky ass daughter was on a View and was saying, they was talking about an issue about Mexican people and shit, and she was like, "Oh, well, what about the Mexicans that clean your toilets? Like, oh, that's all that Mexicans do, clean toilets? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was almost, it was like they don't even know that they saying racist shit. That's just what I'm saying. The mind state of some of these white folks, they don't even understand that they say racist and disrespectful shit about people, other minority people in this country and black folks. They don't even get it. But anyway, let's get into this, people.
Scandal have been doing. How are you? Is what I wanted to ask first of all.
It's so many different things. I'm angry. I'm hurt.
But you always were a strong one.
Oh, I'm a fighter.
Oh, we know that one.
So
we know
I'm
one.
like,
oh.
So hopefully y'all can hear this. But if you what's the name? If you hurt and angered, why are you a fighter then? You supposed to be playing victim. You know, fighter. And if you're a fighter, why are you so hurt? And why you so hurt and confused? Like, I don't get it, man. But let's move on, man. This woman, and let me just say something about Sharon Osbourne. Like, sometimes people really show their true colors when their back is towards the wall. Like, Sharon Osbourne always had a nasty mouth, and the older she has got, the more nasty she has got. And a lot of times people, like I said, they can hide their racism very, very well when they're younger, right? But when you get a certain age, you get older, you start not to give a fuck about shit. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I tell people, the time is now when you at a certain age and you in your late 20s and 30s and 40s, is to kind of figure out what type of person that you really truly want to be. And God forbid that hopefully that he allow you to live the see 50 and 60 and 70 years old. But this is the time that where you need to figure out what type of person that you want to be and how you present yourself to the world, because her true colors are coming out. Because Sharon Osbourne always been this type of person, but now she is to the point that where she's not trying to hide the shit that she really feels. And that's what you see with a lot of these white folks that's running, ripping and running around here doing racist shit, walking up on black people, walking because they walking through a neighborhood and shit like that. Like, they are just totally being who they want to be, because number one, it always been there, and they did a good job of hiding it. But Trump came in and said, fuck that shit. Be who the fuck you want to be. Okay? fuck this cancel culture, fuck all this wokeness, fuck these black people and these minorities. They trying to take over. Like now they just saying fuck that shit. So they just don't care right now. And like I said, and I'm gonna continue to keep saying this to you stupid, some of you stupid ass white people. You fucking with the right black people that you walk up on and you intimidate or try to bully. You haven't ran into the right the wrong black person yet. Because if you run into the wrong black person, somebody like me, I'ma smack the fuck out you. I'm just telling you that now. It ain't a threat. It ain't a promise. It's just what's gonna happen. It's I wish your motherfucker would type shit. Okay? You haven't you ain't ran into the wrong black person yet. You keep running into the right black people that you can bully and intimidate. Just letting you know. I seen the video with the young brother that got approached by the white army vet dude or where the fuck he want to be, rolled up on that black dude. And like I said, he'd have walked up on me, I'd have beat the dog shit out of him. Because where I come from, walking up on somebody and that motherfucking close talking shit, you want to fight. It ain't you we having a conversation. You can have a conversation with me and saying whatever you want to say from a little of a distance. But you all in my grill, that means you want to fight. So my first reaction is I'm a like how he pushed the young brother. I'm punching him first, and I'll probably grab him and body slam him first before he even fuck with me. Before he even attempt to think he gonna push up on me. Because I'm gonna warn you, back up off me, man. And if you don't back up on me, then that means you want to fight. That means you want to fight. And you just better hope and pray that you walk up on me that I don't have my thing on me because I'm gonna blow your motherfucking brains loose. That's just is what it is. Because I don't play with racist people. I don't got time to be playing with you Kerns and Kevins and shit. I ain't that black dude, that black person to roll up on and thinking that you gonna intimidate me or bully me somehow, some way. That ain't happening. You running into the right black people. You not running into the wrong black people like me. That's all I'm saying. Let's move on, people.
Well, let's do a quick recap of the tragic events of 310. So, on your ironically titled show, The Talk.
What up, OG?
You were talking. And and if there's one lesson from this is that's not allowed anymore. So I just want to say my view.
See everything a game with Bill Maher. And see, that's why he think that he can get away with his racism, because he thinks because he's some type of a comedian, he can make fun of real sensitive and important issues. Everything's a fucking game to him. So that's part of the problem with Bill Maher. He think everything's a fucking game. But let's move on. And let me just say something. It ain't about just because she was talking. It was about how she conducted herself. It was about how she was attacking her co-host, a black co-host as that. Because like I said, it'd have been all okay if Sharon Underwood would have just snapped on her. It would have been okay. To me, I wouldn't have had no problem with it. But she conducted herself in a professional way. She's been in that game a long time, and she knows how to conduct herself in a way of knowing how that happened. And like I said, and I'm gonna just explain something to people as well. Sometimes black people can get caught off guard, and I believe that Sharon Osbourne caught Sharon Underwood off guard of her reaction because Sharon Underwood thought that they were friends. And she thought that they could have this conversation without her flying off the handle like that. Because I believe they maybe probably had these conversations before, but you seen how she act like she was blindsided. You wasn't blindsided. You went on social media, Sharon Osbourne, and conducted yourself like a fucking white trailer trash piece of shit racist that you are. Your true colors came out because, like I keep telling you, I always keep saying this about white people. If you so offended Two things. If you're so offended that a black person or somebody call you a racist, then you should know how black people feel when white people call black people niggas. How angry and pissed and hurt we are. But on the second hand, if you're not a fucking racist, why would it make you mad? No one called her a racist on that show. No one called her a racist. Social media, people on social media outlets, different media people called her a racist. But her co-host did not call her a racist. They suggested that she was defending somebody that was being a racist. That's all they said. And she took offense to that. And now she out here playing victim. Oh, they called me a racist. No one called you a racist. Now, at the end of that whole conversation, you wind up proving people's point that did attack you for being a fucking racist when you put that fucking tweet out of defending Paris Morgan. But let's go.
Nothing happened on the time. We'll get to other stuff, but on your show, I don't think anything happened, because what happened was a few weeks before, or maybe the week before, I don't know. I remember I watched it. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry gave their interview with Oprah. Okay, yes. Then your friend Piers Morgan, he's a commentator in Britain. Yes. He said he didn't believe things that Meghan Markle said. Right. And then on your show, you said, well,
yeah, but two things. You could probably look at that situation and say, hey, man, maybe he's just mad and jealous and angry and resentful that she didn't give him a chance. You know what I mean? She ghosted him like he said she did. Right? It was that at first. Right? But then, like, I don't give a fuck what my issues is with other black people. Right? Say I don't fuck with sellouts. But would I feel sorry for a sellout if they came out and said they got racially discriminated against and racism happened from them from a white racist? I wouldn't give a fuck, but I wouldn't say that they're lying. I wouldn't say I don't believe them. Because we know that is possible, that is true. It's not like so far out of the gate that they would lie about something like that. Right? Now, but would I give a fuck? No, I wouldn't care, because you are a sellout and we tried to tell your motherfucking monkey ass that that's what they do on that side. But you wanted to ride with white supremacy and then it backfired on you. So I wouldn't care, but I wouldn't call him a liar, even though, or even just say I don't believe him. Because that's basically what he's saying. I don't believe him. So he's basically saying she's lying. Right? Now, so just because I don't like this person, because of their bad behavior, this black person, doesn't mean that I don't believe that they most likely got racially profiled or some shit like that maybe had happened to them. Because I know it happens to black people. So think about Paris Morgan. You're angry because she ghosted you. That's number one. That's why you keep attacking her. That's number one. I give you that. But that's still some petty shit. You too old for that. Paris Morgan about 50, 60 years old. You way too old to be still stuck on somebody ghost you years ago. It wasn't like it was just yesterday or some shit like that. It was years ago. And you still mad about that? You still bitter? You ain't found no other woman or nothing yet? But I see why you don't have another woman, because of who the fuck you are. So that's one issue. Then number two, the reason it boils down to racism is because of the simple fact, Paris Morgan, the one thing that you can't do, well, you can do it, but the one thing if you say that you're not a racist is don't tell black people their experience of racism. Because number one, you don't know. Number two, you ain't black. You ain't black. So you don't know. And I'm going to tell any white person in the world, whoever the fuck they are, I don't give a fuck who they are. Even if you good white folks, you never explain, do not ever try to tell black people their experiences with racism. You already going to lose black people right there because you have no clue how it feels to be black. Just like I don't have no clue to know how it feels to be white. So I don't assume every white person that I encounter or I see is a fucking racist because I don't know that. And I ain't white. But, you know, you can't tell racist white people that. You too woke, you too sensitive. If you tell them that. The problem is they are mad because the times are changing that black people ain't afraid to speak the fuck up and speak their mind about the racist system in this country. Some of these white people have been getting away with murder, rape, abuse, stealing from black people and oppressing black people for generations. And they know it. They've been benefiting off of it. And now that black people and other minority people and good white folks too is saying, yo, enough of this shit, man. We sick of this shit. Shit gotta change. This good old boys back in the day, forefathers bullshit is outdated. We need to change policies, laws, and all this shit needs to change. Attitudes, all that. The dynamic, the faces of shit. We want to change some of this shit because that shit ain't working for everybody anymore. It's only working for a certain group of fucking people. And when that happens, that means don't tell me we live in the freest country in the world. That is not true. We don't live in the greatest country in the world when one fucking race of people are still living better than other races of people in this country. And you can pick out a few million and billionaires all you want. Means nothing. Them millionaires and billionaires, black people or minorities you talking about is a part of the 1%. Last time I checked, big up to the great Nipsey Hussle for this. Last time I checked, that we was about 16% or 18% or 20-something% of America, of black people in America. So it's not even 1% of black wealth, black rich people, if you want to put it that way. You know, a whole bunch of black people running around with millions of dollars like that. Get the fuck out of here, man. Let's move on, people.
He's a good friend of mine, and I don't necessarily agree with his opinion, but he is entitled to his opinion.
Exactly.
So he was called a racist and lost his job, and you were called a racist and lost your job. Do I have it right?
You got it right.
First of all, you see how nonchalant about that shit. Like, oh, he was called a racist. He lost his job. First of all, Piers Morgan left his job. He quit. Because, and let me just say something. I watched both of these interviews. Nobody on those panels that confronted Piers Morgan called him a racist, or Sharon Osbourne. They never called him a racist. Social media and others may call them a racist. People on the show that confronted him or confronted these two pieces of shit, Sharon Osbourne and Piers Morgan, never called them racist. They just tried to get Piers Morgan to look at the way he's attacking this black woman, and they wondering why. Like, what are your reason to keep attacking her like that? That was the only thing. They took it as when they left the show and they got feedback, people called them racist. That's social media. You didn't get fired because of social media. You got fired because you didn't know how to conduct yourself in a conversation with people that you claim that you're good friends with or co-workers with. That's why they got fired or they left. And they didn't get fired. Let's just be honest. Piers Morgan quit. Because he could have fought for his job, but he didn't. He got a payout and he quit. Same thing with Sharon Osbourne. She didn't fight for her job. Because Sharon Osbourne could have sued the shit out of CBS if they tried to fire her. Because it ain't like she said something racist or no shit like that. It's the way she conducted herself, siding with a motherfucker that is a racist. That's one thing, but she didn't say nothing racist and shit. She just acted a fucking fool. She acted like white trash. That's what she act like. She attacked her co-workers. That's it. Now maybe she could get fired for that. For all I know, I don't know. But it's called the talk. So you get the baby, have a conversation, and shit get heated. So that's not firing material. So, but she didn't get fired because of social media calling her a racist. She didn't fight for her job. She didn't want to fight. She allowed social media and the backlash to intimidate her to quit and take a pay cut. I mean, take a buyout. And those two companies decided we ain't gonna fight you to stay. Okay, good riddance. You bad publicity for the show anyway, for the company anyway. We'll pay you out. I mean, we'll buy you out. Go. But she trying to play like she a victim. She didn't fight for her job. She quit. And now they in this bullshit, and this is the problem. They into this cancel culture shit. Nobody canceled you. Nobody can cancel anybody. She didn't fight for her fucking job. She quit. Nobody canceled her. And I don't give a fuck. Listen, if you motherfuckers out here, you talking about sensitive, if you motherfuckers looking getting so mad at people on social media that don't know you, never met you a day in your life, bully you into quitting your job because they don't like how you conducted yourself at your job, and it's called being a talk, and you quit, that's on you. You the sensitive one. You the one canceling yourself. She canceled herself. Nobody canceled that bitch. I'm sick of these motherfuckers keep running around talking about they got fired or they got canceled. You didn't get canceled. You didn't fight. Especially these two motherfuckers, Sharon Underwood and Sharon Osborne and fucking Piers Morgan. They didn't get, it wasn't no cancel culture that got them fired. None of that shit. They quit. The fuck out of here. That's that new bullshit that they trying to do. That reverse racism shit that they trying to do. That cancel culture shit is starting to irritate the fuck out of me. It's no such thing. And like I said, people got a right not to fuck with you no more if they don't like what you saying. A business got a right, a personal owned business or company has the decision if they want to keep you working at their job of their standards of what they have of you working at their fucking company. And let me just explain something to people. This is the difference between when you own your own shit. If you own your own shit, you ain't got to worry about being canceled or feeling like you're being canceled. You own your own shit. But if you sign a contract and you take a paycheck from a motherfucking corporation or any business, you are a worker. So if they fire you because of your behavior or how you conducting yourself on and off of the fucking job, that's their right to do that. If you are bad for business. There's no such thing as fucking cancel culture. If a motherfucker fire you for being black or white or cause you such and such, then okay. Then you got a point. You're not getting fired because your color of your skin. You're getting fired because of the behaviors of your how you conducting yourself. And they have a right to say that we don't want to publish your books. We don't want to have anything to do with you. We're not doing no all-star games in your state. They got a right because you know why? Because they own shit. You're getting money from their shit. They're cutting you a check. You ain't cutting them a check. Fuck out of here. I'm sick of these ignorant, stupid motherfuckers, man.
How it went.
Right. Who's the racist and why? This is what I'm trying to figure out. Have you?
Me too.
Okay.
Me too. I've been called so many things in my life. I am so used to being called names, but a racist is one I will not take.
Yeah.
First of all, let me just explain something to you. Racist is something that I'm not going to take. Sharon Osbourne, fine. You can say that all you want. What are you gonna do about it? What you did was get on your pity party and quit your job and get the bag. Got $10 million. You quit. And then you ran to Bill Maher and did an interview and started trying to play a victim or two. Trying to play a victim. You got a bag of being fired. What job you know, my people, that when you get fired from a job, you get a bag? And she up here crying, and I don't want to be called a racist, and calling me a racist is crossing the line. I will not be that. Well, don't act like it. Don't side with people that are saying racist shit. I don't get it, man. These people, you talking about people that will sit there and tell you about the elites. These people are part of the elites. This is prime example of elite white privilege shit going on here. This is the shit that they say they are against, but they wind up turning into being that. I told you it's all about they doing nothing but reflecting who they are. When you hear these white conservative people, some of them come out here and pretend that they being canceled and that, all this other shit, and they saying that people are trying to take away their liberties and freedom of speech. These are the same people. They are just reflecting on themselves. This is who they are. This is what they want to do to you. Because if you don't agree with them and don't side with them, then you're the one with the problem. You don't want all of a sudden being anti-Semitic or racist or against white people or against conservative or against babies and want to kill babies and against religion and against freedom, liberties. You're a socialist. Like, it's all reflection. These motherfuckers complain about socialism all the time. They complain about socialism all the time. But I bet you they don't tell you, but they get socialism when they get them free tax cuts. When it's a motherfucking national disaster in a state, they want free money. Why the state can't rebuild that bitch? Why the government gotta come in and bail them out since they want little of government? Oh, you like socialism when it benefits you. Oh, okay. All right. That's bullshit. Socialism. Yeah, all right. This country is built on fascism, capitalism, and socialism, motherfucker. What the fuck are y'all talking about out here? These people do nothing but reflect the shit that they say about other people. All it is a reflection of who they are.
If you're not one. And, I mean, I don't understand the other side of the argument there. In other words, like, you have to agree with everything Meghan Markle says or you're a racist? Is this the standard now? Is this what you think what they're trying to say? Unless you agree with every person of color, then that seems insane.
They would
listen, if you truly believe that, Bill Maher, then you as racist as I thought. You as stupid as I thought. Listen, people, this is how stupid white people are. Well, trying to portray some of these white people trying to portray themselves of being this stupid and idiotic. They know that's a lie. He know that's a lie. He know that's a lie. You throwing a stupid ass question out there of like, if you don't agree with the minorities, what minorities are you talking about, motherfucker? What are you talking about? You don't have to agree with me on everything because I'm black. And some shit ain't just about race. Some shit is just about being a decent human being. But we live in a society now where I see a lot of white people trying to play stupid, ask stupid questions. Like the rest of us are stupid and don't understand what the fuck you doing. Bill Maher ain't a stupid individual. So for him to ask stupid ass questions and put out a stupid, put this stupid scenario out there of is that what they're doing? What the fuck are you talking about? See, the problem is they don't like that they gotta watch their fucking mouths when they're talking to blacks and other minority people in this country. Or even how they talk to women. Or the gay community. They gotta watch what the fuck they say. They ain't used to having to watch their motherfucking mouth. And that's what comes with American white privilege. This is what comes with this shit. These motherfuckers been doing so much shit across the board, so fucked up and ignorant and disrespectful for generations. And now they at the point right now where you gotta watch your motherfucking mouth. It ain't the good old boy days. It ain't those days where you get to say whatever the fuck you want to people because you can. Because it was no repercussions for that bullshit. Now it is. So watch your fucking mouth. It just is what it is. And as a fucking human being, I think you maybe will want to watch your mouth or how you talk to people. Because you know why? Because I don't want people to say nothing that offends me. That ain't got nothing to do with race or anything like that. That got to do with respecting others. I want you to talk to me with a certain type of a way and respect me a certain type of way. So I got to watch what the fuck I say to other people. Because I want the same energy back. Me and my wife were just having this conversation, man, of I'm going to give you the energy that you give me. If you give me good energy, I'm going to feed that right back to you. Because as a human being, it's a respect level. I'm grown. I know how to conduct myself. You present yourself as a good person. I gotta accept that. I'm not spending my time focusing on energy of, is this person racist? Is this person not racist? That's way too much energy for me. Spent on shit that I'm not. I could take some of that energy and some of that time to focus on important shit. But I'm not going to play ignorant to I don't understand that race doesn't matter in certain situations. I'm going to throw dumbass questions out there and pretend like I don't know what's going on. It's very disingenuous to his audience. It is very disingenuous to other people of dude, you throwing shit out there like you don't know what's going on. You know what's going on. And the reason you know what's going on because you are part of the problem. And you got this bitch sitting here, just same thing he did with what's this bitch name? What's her name? Megyn Kelly. He had that racist piece of shit ass bitch on there and try to make her feel try to present her in a better way of she's not a racist. We don't know what's going on in the world. We can't say what we want no more. You goddamn right. We teach listen, you know the crazy shit about it? We teach our kids. No matter what color skin your kids are. You teach your kids to be respectful to people. You teach them that. You raise them to be that way. And for some odd reason, grown-ass folks, you sit there and you teach your kids to be respectful, to show respect to others. But then you don't do what you teaching your kid to do. Such fucking hypocrites. But he giving these racist ass women or some of these racist ass people platforms to come up here and pretend that they victims. You know victim. You listen. Megyn Kelly got paid when she got let go both times from Fox and from the other network. I think it was CBS or MSNBC, one of them, whatever, ABC or one of them. And so did goddamn Sharon Osborne. They got money when they left. The fuck they whining and crying for? See, the problem is now they can't walk in public. You see, it's okay to be amongst the people that agree with your negativity and the shit that you say every day, all day, right? Because you don't go out and walk amongst the people. When these type of people are with the people that believes in their bad behavior and the shit that they say. And now you ain't got no job. Now you got to walk amongst the people now. Now you ain't accepted in those circles that you was a part of at one period of time. Especially, you ever think about it, people, when you get let go from your job, you rarely have relationships with a lot of people that you work with after you leave. Unless you've been like friends with a person at your job for so long that you, even from the job, that y'all hang out, y'all families hang out or something like that. Like that's different. But like somebody that you work with and you like a work friend. You've been fucking with this person for about 2-3 years. Y'all may go out, had some drinks or something like that, but you get what I mean? It's your work friends. When you leave your job, after you leave your job, you don't have nothing else in common with that person anymore because they don't work at that. You don't work at that job anymore, and you rarely talk to them like that anymore. So now you got to be amongst the people because you had a routine every day of what you did. You went to work, you did these certain things, so you stayed away from a lot of shit that you normally wouldn't do when you didn't have time to do it. So now you got to walk amongst the people. That's what's happening to Sharon Osbourne and the Megyn Kellys of the world. When they get fired, now they got to be amongst the regular folks. And now the regular folks that wanted their ass gone is now telling them motherfuckers, you ain't shit in person. It ain't easy for them. They was beloved at one period of time. They could move around. Now they can't move around like that no more. That's all this shit is.
Okay, I'm trying to go back and think of the words that somebody who's meant to be an expert in woke language as is acceptable today.
Right, it is a whole language.
Yes, saying that it took away.
And you see what I'm saying about they don't even acknowledge. They don't even, she's making fun of this shit. That's what I'm saying, the woke. Like, what are you talking about? You don't even know what woke mean. You don't even know what it means, but you out here trying to educate other people on wokeness. You don't even know what it means. And everything's a fucking game to them. They think because a motherfucker has seen the light of the injustice of things that goes on in this country, somehow it's a joke to them. It's a fucking joke to them. Everything's a fucking joke. Everything's a joke. The woke culture, the cancel culture, it's all a fucking game. Everything's a game. They did, like I said, they did the same shit to Colin Kaepernick. They see the injustice and then they focus and they have parts of America turn their mind. It's like a distraction. Look over here. No, it's woke culture. It's cancel culture. They doing cancel culture over there. Instead of coming to the motherfucking party or coming to the meeting and having a conversation about it. Seeing how we can fix this situation. No, they want to distract. Cancel culture. Wokeness. It's woke culture. It's just sad, people. Give me a second, man. This shit is bullshit. Hey, Bo. Hey, Bo. You throw me a water up here. Huh? You said what? You heard me? Hold on, people. Put the milkshake in the refrigerator, Bo. I'm sorry, people. I had to get a water. Um, my bad, people. I'm back. I had to get a water. All right, let's get back into it.
Her feelings, and she's entitled to her feelings, and she was stripped of those by Pierce, and that she had was having mental problems because she was unhappy, and so he was stripping her of her feelings, which she's entitled to.
Megan?
Hold on. First of all, it wasn't just that. It wasn't just that. And see how nonchalant that is to her? She was thinking about suicide. And they just playing around. What if this woman committed suicide? Then what they say? They would still be nonchalant about this shit? Probably so, because they don't give a fuck. This ain't, listen, people, this is just not that, just about race or with Meghan Markle. See, people focused on the racism shit because we're in those times where black people are very sensitive to shit, and we need to be. And other minorities, we need to be hypersensitive of this shit. People are getting killed because of the color of their skin. Black people are getting gunned down by these race soldiers because of the color of their skin. We are being targeted. As black people and other minorities in this country are being targeted because of the color of their skin. We are borderline in a race war, kind of like. Right? We almost to the edge of that shit where it's about to explode. Where it could explode. So you goddamn right people should be hypersensitive of that. But I didn't just focus on the race issue part of that because I didn't really care, because Meghan Markle should have knew listen, we too old for this shit of certain black people. If you over 30 years old and you didn't grow up in that millennium, the young millennium, if you under 30, I get how ignorant you are to a lot of this not understanding, getting with these dating outside of your race and being and marrying outside of your race and having babies outside of your race. I understand that it shouldn't be this way, but it is this way. It's an issue. It always been an issue. And just because you see more Barack Obamas running around here and more interracial couples walking around here doesn't mean it ain't an issue. And at the same time, it brings, you already dealing with a dynamic of you, especially as black people, you're already dealing with a situation just because of the color of your skin of you black. And then now you get with a white person and y'all get together and y'all decide that, okay, y'all okay and y'all strong enough to fight this shit, right? Then you make a decision to bring kids in the world. That's a decision you make. Some of the times, I mean, sometimes, you know, kids can just pop up. God says it's time for you to have a kid. But you know what I mean, people. Some of these people make decisions to have kids. And you bring these kids in the world, and then you don't prepare them for who they parents decided to be together, even individuals. And then you don't prepare the fucking kids that is a mixture between both races. So my point is this. I didn't really get that upset about the racism part of Meghan Markle, what she went through. I believe you brung that shit on yourself. You had to know this was coming with it. You had to know. All you had to do is look at how they treated Diane, Princess Diana, and she was white. When a motherfucker treats you, listen, when a family treats you a certain type of way because you didn't, they wasn't your preferred pick for that, for who they chose for, whoever their family member is that you fuck with, and they treat you a certain type of way, you already know that ain't the motherfucking family to be fucking with or want to be a part of. You seen what happened to Princess Diana. And then you want to bring your Barack Obama ass up in there and think that, it's going to be changed. You're talking about a bunch of old ass racist people. A systemic racist system. That system that Prince Harry and all them live on, that shit is racist. That shit is to oppress people. They whole system over there that they got. These motherfuckers still living back like they kings and queens and princes and shit. We in 2021, these bitches still call Prince Harry. That nigga named Harry. No motherfucker Prince. Fuck out of here. Queen Elizabeth. Fuck that bitch. Oh, wrinkle-faced bitch. Anyway, all I'm saying is she should have knew. And if she didn't have no clue and she went in there with blinders on, that's on her when it came to that racism shit. And you chose to get with that goddamn white boy. Okay? So I don't feel sorry on that end. So I didn't focus on that. I felt on the mental illness part of it. And I'm thinking to myself, why didn't Prince Harry step up more with her mental illness? He should have been took her out there when she was going through that shit. You don't keep your woman or your kid around some shit that's toxic like that, and you got a choice to leave. We're not talking about some random couple, everyday person you see. We're talking about the so-called prince, royalty. Your mama left you millions of dollars. Should have been rolled out. You Prince Harry, number one, he gonna make money outside of that. He can have a reality show and ask for $1 million a year or $1 million an episode. He can do that. Look how much money Oprah got just for doing an interview with them. She got $10 million just off an interview with them. You think they have a reality star? They couldn't get $1 million or $500,000 an episode? Come on, man. He put his woman in that situation. Listen, I don't blame Meghan Markle. I blame Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. You can't tell me you love her and nigga, you keep her in that toxic situation like that. And that toxic ass, racist ass family of yours. Your own brother ain't even speak up for you. He seen what happened to his mama, and he ain't even speak up for your wife. Come on, man. You can't tell me you love me, man, and you know my wife is a part of who I am. This is my future. This is my wife to be. This is the woman that's gonna have my kids. And you telling me you ain't accepting my woman? Get the fuck out of here, man. That's like my wife not accepting my family. She accepted your family, and your family didn't accept her. Even when she was in a bad space, they didn't accept her. They wouldn't even look out for her. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Let's move on, man. That's what I focused on. I focused on the mental part. That's why I was angry at Piers Morgan. I don't give a fuck about his petty ass shit of she ghosted him and shit like that, and his borderline racism tone that he had towards her. It was that he didn't have no sympathy that this woman was thinking about committing suicide, and then you tried to make it seem like she lying about her being mentally abused. You suck ass nigga. Anyway, let's move on, man.
Yes.
Well, is she even aware? I mean, I think she's. It's very difficult, as you know now that you've been through something like this, and I'm sure when she got married to Prince Harry, she thought it was going to be like a Disney movie. I'm marrying the prince.
No, she said she felt like the Little Mermaid.
Right. Right. And then of course the reality sets in, and being the princess is really cutting the ribbon at some waste management facility opening in Shitterville. You know, I mean, it's not glamorous. And I'm sure the royal family was cold to her. Now, could that have been because of race? Possibly. The old bag's 100. You know, I mean, no,
and see how and she tried to play it off, but she was mad offended that he just said that about the queen. But look how they downplaying. She had no problem, and her as well they had no problem. She had no problem with Bill Maher or herself downplaying Meghan Markle. I still want to understand, what do the queen do? What do she do? I don't know what she do. Do she have a 9-to-5 job or something? Who the fuck is this bitch? Why is she so goddamn important? But anyway, but she didn't have no problem downplaying Meghan Markle. But soon he said something about the queen, made a joke or whatever. She all of a sudden she was mad offended at first, and then he laughed, and then she laughed. Now she felt like, oh, it was just a joke. But she was offended at first. I looked at her fucking face. I'm looking at her face. Come on, man.
I'm just saying, I think there's an element of that in their race. Come on, they're from the empire, they're the old school. But also, I think they're just cold to everyone.
She's from a different generation.
Right. They're cold people. And she took it probably, some of it was racism, and some of it she took as racism. Like, no.
First of all, let me just explain something to people real seriously. Listen, I'm not going to pretend like I understand old people. I ain't as old yet, so I don't really truly get it. When old people get old, they are not cold. I done ran into real happy-go-lucky old people, nice old people. They're not cold like that. They're not cold like that. And then let me just explain something to you. Why the fuck would you be cold to somebody if you claim that you love this person, your grandkid or whoever it is, your grandson or your son or whoever it is? You may not totally approve of the person that they with. That happens in any family. But when it gets to the point where you start just being straight up mean and disrespectful, and then thinking about how they treated this woman, Meghan Markle, and she took some of that shit as racist. First of all, listen to me. They didn't even treat the other brother wife that bad. They listen. Let me just explain something to people. First of all, Princess Diana, you seen how they treated her. Right? Y'all heard the stories. Y'all read the books. Y'all know. They ran the woman off the damn road. Okay? And got her killed. You know what I'm saying? In an accident. Listen. Then you think about the father's wife. He remarried. They didn't treat her that bad. Because they picked and choose who he could be with. That's a dictator. That's a dictator of family there. They try to dictate who people can marry. What is acceptable. It's no different than when you go to some of these Muslim countries. It's the same shit. When a motherfucker say they already set your daughter up with a guy. They already done planned it out. Y'all watch fucking Coming to America. This shit happens in Africa too. Like, stop pretending that this shit is something. It's normal. It's not normal, but it's normal to them because that's the generations of how they have been, how their society has been. So to somebody like Meghan Markle to be from a different culture, to go into their culture, and like I said, it's naive on her part. I believe it's part of it. This is her fault. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. It's part of her own fault that a lot of this shit even happened to her. But for her to be naive, to go in that situation and pretend like this is not an issue, I mean, what did she expect? And then you seen the brother with his wife. They didn't treat her that bad. I mean, it was a little shit, but it wasn't like this. Listen, people, it's like a motherfucker telling you this is how shit gotta be, right? Everybody gotta act the same. And so what happens is that's not a democracy. That's not a family that has a say in the family, right? They basically saying everybody, you date who we tell you to date, you marry who we want you to marry, you act the way we want you to act. And if you don't, and if you rebel, we're gonna make your life hell. And that's what that is what that whole royal family is really truly about. And that goes for like that happens in Muslim countries, that happens in African countries. That's why I tell people this all the time. Listen, I can never hate I can never hate America because the simple fact we don't live like that. They try to do that shit over here. Well, they have done it before, but I'm just saying, like, where we at in these days, they try to, but it don't happen. People marry and be whoever the fuck they want to be with, and most likely, if family members may not like the person or whatever, but you don't see people disrespecting them and that go that far of the hypocrisy of what some of the royal family and some of these other countries do. I don't want to go live in fucking Africa, nigga. And there's no disrespect to Africa. I love my African brothers and sisters. Nigga, I don't know. They got rules and shit that I wouldn't like. I will break soon I get there. I don't like to be dictated to. I don't like to be, as a person, I don't even like to be told what to do, but I understand you need rules. But I don't want to be dictated to how I'm supposed to act and who I'm supposed to be as a person. You don't get to dictate that. But that's all the royal family is.
They're cold to everybody. Girl.
Yeah, they are.
But yes,
they're notorious.
First of all, that is not true. They are not cold to everybody. That is a lie. That is a fucking lie. They are not cold to everybody. And then you calling, and Bill Maher, just you being a fucking cocksucker, a fucking jerk, a bozo right now. You being a real bozo right now. That who the fuck are you calling a girl? She's not a girl. She's a young woman. She's no girl. And it always mind boggles me. People like Bill Maher that don't have no fucking kids, don't have no wife, has nothing. He want to talk on these issues like he understand what's going on. You have no clue. I remember I used to give advice to friends of mine that had kids and shit. And I remember a couple of friends of mine said, yo, it's good advice, dude, but it ain't like you think it is. when you have kids. Like, it's different when you get kids, man. I appreciate the advice, but until you got some kids, man, you really truly don't understand. And I used to look at these niggas like they lost their goddamn mind. Like, okay, man, whatever, man. And two, I had a kid. And now I see exactly what my homeboys and homegirls was talking about. It's different. And until you experience certain stuff, you have no clue of what the fuck you're talking about. That's why what always bothered me is that the whole mind state of Bill Maher and Sharon Osborne and Piers Morgan to pretend like they actually know what goes on in there. Totally, that couldn't happen. This couldn't happen. You don't know that. You ain't never been a part of the royal family. Fuck are you talking about? She has. She know what happened. She knows what goes on in there. That's like a motherfucker coming from another country and come over here, another brother come from, a sister come from another country and come and tell black people we shouldn't have Black History Month. Who the fuck are you? It's the same shit. Who the fuck are you? You just got here. You don't even know what the fuck you talking about.
Obviously non-huggy.
Of course.
They're not huggy.
Lip. That's right. What you British people used to be known for.
Right. So, and I get it. She, because of her age, she's a different generation.
Right. Okay. So, and Piers.
First of all, treating people with respect and not disrespecting them and not caring about them has nothing to do with your generation. It has nothing to do anything about that. It's from a different generation. It has nothing to, I'm insulted by that. It has nothing to do with that. Nothing. Has nothing to do with she from a different generation. They don't know how to treat people. Fuck out of here. They ain't cold to everybody. When they go over to them African countries and shit and do photo ops and donate money to these countries and shit, they know how to act then. They ain't as cold then. So that's no excuse of it's just a generational thing or they just like that. They cold to everybody. No, they're not. The fuck are you talking about? That's a blatant lie. Anyway, man, let's move on.
Morgan, I've heard you say, or read it somewhere, this is an old friend of yours. I mean, you said that you slapped him.
Oh, we've had terrible fights.
You got drunk together? He's seen your tits?
Just one.
What? Okay, well, but just a friend.
Oh, he's
just a friend, right?
He's just a mate of mine. We've worked together.
And then how did he see a tit?
Because
it's a reasonable question. I mean,
and believe it or not, she is taking her way too long to answer this question. She probably flirted and kissed them all in the mouth and felt this dick. He felt her titties before. It got very inappropriate. See, if you know anything about those Brits, a lot of those Brits, they wild. Them white Brits, they wild as shit. And they freaky, they hoes, a lot of them hoes. They do a lot of freaky shit over there. Okay? So, she taking way too long to answer the goddamn question. How you see your fucking titties? That mean you was wilding. As well as him.
Behave. So, anyway, yes, I did slap Piers. We had a fight and missed the train.
How you telling him to behave when you was out there acting reckless? You was out there being reckless. For him to see your titty, you was out there doing something you had no business doing. Nobody just see your titty. Your titty just don't pop out like that unless you got something on so damn tight your titty pop out. But she don't even want to answer the question, so I don't even think it's that.
One night, and it was brilliant, and we make up the next day.
Right. And let me read. You mentioned this, and I have the exact quote. It's from.
And it's all bullshit because, like I said, you just don't smack nobody. He said something. Or he said something. What did he say? She don't want to get into it because she don't want to put him on blast like that. Tell us what the fuck he did.
Elaine Welteroth, she's one of your co-hosts, or was?
Yes.
Okay. I think when you deny a woman or a woman of color their truth and their experiences, you're not just denying them, you're denying every woman and woman of color who sees themselves in this person's story. But deny a woman, he's doubting her.
Doubting.
That's not the same as denying.
No, it's not.
You're entitled to your thing, and I'm entitled to doubt.
She's entitled to her opinion. Piers is entitled to his.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
It wasn't just what that was all about. And this is what I'm saying. You trying to make it so, see, this is the shit that pisses me. You trying to make it so simple, or he just doubted it. Yeah, everybody have the right to have an opinion to doubt certain shit. Yeah, of course. Nobody's tripping off of that. But when your motives are not your motives are not good of like his whole motive was to basically tell her, she like attack her because he was still mad because she ghosted him. That was part of it. That was mainly part of it. Because before then, he never talked bad about this woman at all. But the time she ghosted him and didn't fuck with him, and she started fucking with Prince Harry or whatever, he started talking shit about her. It's just a fact. So it ain't just about him having his doubts or his opinion. His opinion is not fully genuine. He has a motive behind why he's saying what he's saying. Let me explain something to people. This is how stupid they think we are as people. A lot of these folks like this. See, what they don't tell you is that just because when you doubt something, it's a reason why you doubt it. Okay? Even if you say, I can't really put my finger on it, but I doubt that shit. It's a reason for that. You just maybe can't explain it fully, but it's a reason why you doubt something. So you have a motive. It's a reason why you feel that way. It's the reason you even saying it. Nobody just say, I doubt that. What you doubt it for? I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to doubt it. But if a motherfucker tell you, I doubt it, it just don't seem, because he explained, he don't see that the royal family would do that. But then when motherfuckers pushed up on him and said, well, how do you know? You don't know that for sure or what she's saying. He basically called her a liar. There's one thing you say, from my experiences dealing with the royal family, because I be around them a lot or something like that, I highly doubt that happened. That's one thing. But Piers Morgan do not hang with the royal family like that. He don't be eating dinner with them, and he ain't a part of that family. He ain't dating nobody in the royal family. So how the fuck do he know what Meghan Markle went through? Why would you doubt it? Because you have a motive. It's a reason that you feel that way. It's the reason you said it. And people called his ass out on it, and he called his ass out on it, and he ain't like that. That's all that was. But anyway, let's move on, man.
You are entitled to have a disagreement.
What up, Don?
Discuss it in a normal way.
Right, all this drama over somebody saying, I don't agree with my friend, but he's entitled to his opinion.
That's it.
Or even I do agree with him, you could have said, would have been okay in my book.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
I mean, I didn't agree with everything she said. She said Harry had the weight of the world on his shoulders. Really? He's sixth in line for a job that has no responsibility. No power. Okay. All right. So
look, it's you know when they say like white privilege, right there with Harry. Right there, he's the poster boy. So it's like, you know, he sits there and says, "Oh, Daddy cut him off, so he's not on the wages anymore," and he was boo-hooing about it. You can't feel empathy for that because you're a healthy, bright, educated young man. You can go do whatever you want to do. Your life is your own.
And they're living in a giant...
Okay, so why are y'all on TV talking about Meghan Markle then? Why are you bitching and complaining about the talk of how those women felt when you no different than him? They may have a little bit more. He may be a little bit more popular than you, but you got... Oh, these people kill me. Sharon Osborne, you are too as white privilege. The fuck are you talking about? You just got a buyout, a settlement of you quitting a job. You quit and you got $10 million, but you on a national platform bitching and complaining. Because if that's me, I'm saying, hey, if you think I'm a racist, I got 10 million out of being a fucking racist. But and tell it on the back end, and I'm being facetious about it, because I'm no racist. But if you really truly think that, then something is maybe I had to look at something that how I came off, but maybe you should check yourself. Because I have never did anything racist. That's what she should have said. Not her dumbass going on these shows, bitching and complaining about they calling me racist. Well, listen, they called you racist. You left your job and got $10 million. The definition of white privilege. The fuck are you talking about? You complain about Prince Harry. And let's be honest about something too. About when you raising these kids, when these people, these white privileged people raising white privileged kids. A lot of times you can't even get mad at somebody like Prince Harry for being privileged or being a white privileged man. Listen, that's all he know. Yeah, he went to school, got some shit, but his main job was to be royalty. His main job. All that other extra shit that he was doing was just to put on his portfolio. He was in the military over there. He did little thing. He went to college and little shit like that to get shit on his portfolio. That's it. On his resume. To make him look good. That's it. Other than that, his main job was to be royalty. So yeah, when this issue came up and the family cut him off, of course he should be mad. You motherfuckers raised me to be this way, and then you cut me off because I disagree. Me and my wife had enough of your fucking racism and being nasty to my wife and my kid. Your own blood. And then you cut me off? Yes, he should be mad. They raised him to be privileged. And Sharon Osbourne, the nerve of this white privileged bitch sitting there trying to get mad at Prince Harry of that's the definition of white privilege. Well, your kids as well. What fucking 9-to-5 job that your kids actually had? And I'm not talking about, they work for a company in show business. Have your kids ever worked at a factory or McDonald's or anything like that? Fuck no. And you sitting there trying to go at Prince Harry for being privileged, and you done raised your motherfucking kids to be privileged. I told you, it is not. Every time they say stupid shit out their mouth, it is nothing, or they attack other people in certain ways. All they doing is reflecting of what they do and how they act and how they conduct themselves. It's all this is about. Now you mad at Prince Harry for what? Oh, you mad at another white man for being privileged, and y'all are privileged? I mean, you do nothing with your privilege. At least Prince Harry took a stand and said, you know what? I'm getting my black wife and my mixed kid, my black kid, you could say, out of this shit. I'm gone. Let's go, babe. We getting the fuck up out of here. This enough is enough. At least he did that. But you know what Sharon Osborne did? She sided with a racist. And the reason I call Piers Morgan a racist, because he defended Donald Trump till he felt like he couldn't no more. Knowing that Donald Trump is a racist. The nerve of these people, man. I swear to God, Sharon Osbourne need to shut the fuck up and go away. Nobody want to hear from your stupid, goofy ass. You goofy as fuck. Up there, sitting up there with all that goddamn plastic surgery on your face. Looking like a plastic surgeon Hallmark card. Look disgusting. You say you 60-something years old? Bitch, look like it. Stop trying to stay looking young. And you know the crazy part about it, people, and I'll be very honest about this, because, you know, I don't sugarcoat shit, and I don't lie about shit. I used to like Sharon Osbourne. But her true colors came out. Like I said, some of these racist people, their racism will come out. Their truth will come out. That's why I'm okay with open racist people. Be racist. I want you to feel that you can say whatever the fuck you want to say. So I know who I'm dealing with. Because if I really truly knew how this bitch really felt, the way how she felt and how she is back then when I really liked her, I would never said I like Sharon Osbourne. But like I said, the devil is here to deceive us, people. This bitch is the devil.
Mansion next door to Oprah.
Which is great. I mean,
yeah, right. I agree.
Fantastic.
Right. Let's let everyone.
Yes. Just do your thing. Just do your thing. Right. That's all.
So,
but disagreeing with somebody does not make you a racist in my book.
No, of course not. So let's get on to the other part of it, which is that.
But what makes you a racist when you side with racists? What makes you a racist or complicit of racism is when you side with a person that sides with another person that says racist shit. And Donald Trump never apologized for any of the racist shit that he has ever said. Ever. So, yes, it doesn't make you a racist because you have a disagreement or you just disagree on certain shit. And it all depends what it is. If you disagree with me about a person blatantly being racist and doing racist shit, then yes, it does make you a racist. So that's not fully true of what she's saying. It's no disagreement. The motherfuckers are racist. Especially if you keep doubling down on the shit. Never apologize for it. That means you are okay being saying racist shit. You okay being a racist. And if you side with that racist and you friends with that racist, then you are a fucking racist. We're not going to keep tiptoeing around this shit anymore. You listen to me, to all the white folks out there. If you ain't racist, if you're not racist, you should not be participating, friending, or being still associated with family members or whoever it is and defending these racists or being around them. You should not be around them. If you're not racist, because it gives me, for me, if I think about this, think about how crazy this is. Think about how confusing this is, my people. You don't have to be a child to be confused about this, right? Think about how confusing this could be. You have a person that's a friend of yours that tells you, I'm not a racist. They hang around you all the time. They like being or hanging around black people and shit like that, right? And different minority of people in this country, different races of people. But their family is racist. And then they still go to cookouts and shit like that. And you know that they're hearing racist shit. You know that you can't bring a minority or a black person to a family gathering or a dinner or anything like that because you know how racist your family is. As a black person or a minority that's a friend of that white person that's dealing with that shit or still, has that type of family, that's confusing to me because I know you don't say these racist things. I know that you don't even believe in it because you don't act that way, but you still coddle racists. That's confusing to me. Well, it was confusing to me, but it's not confusing to me anymore. I don't give a fuck who the person is. I don't give a fuck if they're a family member. I don't give a fuck if they was your best friend for years and you found out how real racist they really are and how insensitive they are to other blacks and minorities, and you still friends with them, and you still accept them, you still go to their gatherings, you still hang around them, then you are an enabler to racism. So that makes you a racist. I don't know why people can't understand that. I know it was acceptable on black people's part and white people's part. I know it was acceptable then. It's not acceptable now. Because you still enabling racism. And I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be associated with you at all. Because you are associated with Klan members. Think about it, people. You friends with this white person, and you invite this white person to all your gatherings. Dinners, you go out together, you eat, you drink together. You may take this person over your mama house, your grandmama house, all that shit, uncles and shit. You get what I mean? But when it's time for you to go and hang out with them, with their family members, you never get invited. Or they so arrogant that they may invite you anyway, knowing that their family is going to say some racist shit around you. And they tell a black person, hey, don't take it that serious. He's old racist, he's just racist, he's stupid, he's ignorant. Like it ain't a big deal. No. We not accepting that no more. Sorry, Sharon Osborne. We not accepting that no more. You are a racist, and the reason that you are a racist, maybe you ain't said it, maybe you don't think it, whatever. But I'm telling you, you stupid, and you side with that racist Piers Morgan, that side with another racist Donald Trump that supported him, then you are a racist. Plain and simple. We're not playing these games with you.
This is a part of culture that I'm not loving, where everyone is a snitch now. Like something comes out, and so your current host, this is what I've read. You tell me, the current hosts have said they never heard you say anything racist, right? But some of the past ladies, they said you talk shit, you know.
No, you can say it.
Okay, I mean, the Asian slur, lesbian slur, because, okay, that's just what, okay. Okay, I don't
now, see, and this is what I'm saying about these white people now. Now you snitching when you call out that people racism. Now you snitching. You changing the definition of snitching, motherfucker? It ain't snitching when a motherfucker is disrespecting you, saying racial slurs towards you. Now, I have a problem with these women waiting so long to come out and all of a sudden say that this person said something about them. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I may got to look this back up. Holly Robinson, Pete, I believe she came out years ago and said that Sharon Osbourne said some real racist shit to her, saying that she too ghetto for the show. I remember that coming out. So it's not like that's something new that she was piling on. She been said it. And nothing happened to Sharon Osbourne. So let me get this straight, Bill Maher. You a snitch for calling out people's racism and discriminating against other people, making other people feel bad. You're a snitch now. What type of fucking shit? It's almost an insulting thing when I hear these motherfuckers say this shit, snitching. That shit, that's cold. Like if you in the streets, shit. That's like snitching means if you are a part of something and you accept to being part of something that is wrong or criminal or whatever it may be, and you be a part of that, and you know the consequences of the shit, and you still be a part of it, and then you get caught, and then you snitch on everybody. Well, everybody, he was doing it too. Yeah, such did it too. That was him. That's snitching. But if you are being a fucking racist and in my presence, being racist towards me, said some racist shit to me, and I go out and I speak out on it, that's not snitching. Man, you know what, man? I know we live in a stupid country right now, man. I know we're among stupid people in this country, but come on, man. I swear to God, man. America is dumbing down the people, man. They trying to dumb us down so bad, man. This shit is just getting out of hand. It's ridiculous, man.
We don't condone any bad language anywhere, but I'm just saying, first of all, we're talking about four ladies. I know men are dogs. Men are dogs.
We're bitches.
I'm glad you said it, not me.
And that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes.
And see, and let me just explain something to you. This is why you don't have certain people representing a gender or a race. Because you are a bitch. Don't say all women are bitches. But motherfuckers had a real issue with Snoop Dogg. And I remember you, Sharon Osbourne, coming out there and saying Snoop was wrong for calling her a bitch and all that shit, dog head bitch. Remember you said that? Gail ain't no bitch. But Snoop called Gail a bitch. You go out there running your mouth. Talking about the lack of respect of women. But now you are out here calling all women bitches. At least I got enough intelligence to understand that, yeah, some women are bitches. And some dudes are bitches too. Some men are bitches. Okay? Now, at least I have enough knowledge to understand that. She's so ignorant and stupid as fuck that she's on national TV calling all women bitches. We all women are bitches. We all bitches. What? But you just was mad at Snoop. You was on the bandwagon. You was hot. You was mad. Let's move on, man. These people are stupid, man. I don't even see how people have conversations with some of these people. I'm dead serious. I don't see how you can sit down and have just even normal conversations with these stupid ass people.
But I'm just saying, first of all, we're talking about 4 ladies. I know men are dogs. Men are dogs.
We're bitches.
And first of all, and then Bill Maher sitting up there, you don't justify all men, motherfucker. Here he go, all men are dogs. Fuck are you talking about, nigga? No, you a dog. The fuck out of here. You the one that ain't married. You ain't got no woman. You ain't got no kids. You out here just fucking random hookers and shit or hoes in the industry. You are a dog. Don't put that shit on the rest of men. See what I'm saying? See, this is why I know that these people partly don't even understand racism. Because they don't even know how to understand how to use words, how their words could offend others. So I know that they don't even truly understand that when they offend black folks. That's why they sitting out here doing a white Klansman interview together, talking about how woke people are. When the problem is, maybe y'all need to wake the fuck up. Fuck being woke. How about y'all need to wake the fuck up and understand your bad behaviors and the shit that you said out your mouth do affect people. But these are the same people that don't understand that on one hand they say you shouldn't say certain shit because words matter. And then on the other hand, I should have the freedom to say whatever I want to say. Well, make your mind up. Do you have the freedom to say anything the fuck you want to say, no matter what the consequences are, or people need to watch what they say? Can't have it both ways. I'm sorry.
And that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. We'll go, Jesus, did you see what she was just wearing? Woo! And then you go, hi, oh, you look great. Right. You know, we're bitches, and that's the way it is. And this is...
First of all, that doesn't make you a bitch. See, this is what I mean by stupid shit. Now you just want a name call. You just want to just speak and say whatever the fuck you want to do. See, these type of people are very disingenuous, and they just want to say whatever the fuck they want to say. It doesn't matter if they offend or hurt anybody. They don't care. So we shouldn't care that she's upset and hurt that people are calling her a racist. Because just because women may be a little envy or nasty to each other in certain type of ways, are very competitive, or however you can use those type of words, but that doesn't make you a bitch. A woman say, "Oh, look what she got on." Don't make her a bitch. That make her petty, or she a little envious or a little jealous. That don't make her a bitch. That's not even in the definition of a bitch. But you know what? Like I said, we amongst stupid people. But let's move on.
So you're owning talking shit about them in a way.
They used the wrong term.
Because they probably said it about you.
No, I never ever said that Remini, Leah Remini was a whatever she said. I don't even use those words. They're not in my vocabulary.
Okay.
And for
first of all, that's another white supremacist talking point that they like to use to try to make it seem like they're not racist, right? It's not even in my vocabulary. First of all, it don't matter what the word is or whatever the situation may be. I mean, whatever the word may be, it's always in your vocabulary. If you can read and understand words, it's in your vocabulary. It's in the dictionary. So it is in your vocabulary. It may be something that you don't say, but don't say it ain't in your vocabulary. Just say it ain't nothing I would say. I wouldn't say nothing like that. But don't say it ain't in your vocabulary. Right there, let me know that you're lying. My opinion, right? Sharon Osborne, my opinion that you're lying. Because I've been around a long time and I understand when people use certain words. It ain't in my vocabulary. Especially when you're talking about something about race. I'm not a racist. I don't say nothing racist. I don't see color. It's all bullshit. It's to try to prove to other people that you're not a racist. You're not as racist as people think you are. That's all that is. It's not in my vocabulary. You're a goddamn lie. It's in everybody's vocabulary to say hurtful and fucked up shit, especially even if you don't know what it means. It's still in your vocabulary. Talking about, I don't know what she said. Yeah, you do. What you see now, Sharon Osbourne, you 60-something years old. Are you see now? Are you forgetful that you don't know what the fuck you done said to people?
ever said
Okay.
that Leah
Right.
Remini
Right.
was a whatever she said. I don't even use those words. They're not
Right.
in my vocabulary.
Right. Okay.
And for Holly, I think I said it all when I printed the text that she sent me after she said I got her fired. In the text, she says, I know it was Julie. I know it was Les. I'm thinking of suing. It's disgruntled ladies.
So, okay. So now what about this story now that I'm reading?
But that ain't the only thing she said. She said that you said that she was too ghetto for the show. Man, that ain't the only thing she said. But of course, you don't remember none of that because you can't even remember what you said to that Chinese lady. Or she could be Korean. I don't know.
About something with someone who is Iranian.
Yes.
You
yes.
called a Persian something.
No. They gate crashed my husband's and my 20th wedding anniversary. We were not invited. Don't know who this woman from a hole in the wall. I was on chemo.
So you were I was crashed, not invited.
Not invited. Don't know this person. Okay. Don't know her. I wouldn't know.
Not a guest of a guest?
No, don't know her. She gate crashed a party. She
won a raffle,
which was a diamond necklace.
Right.
And she took it.
Well, she won it. No, right. She did win the raffle. Are you saying she cheated on that too?
Well, no.
I mean, anyone who crashed a party would cheat on a raffle. But I don't know. Okay.
And it was a very personal thing because we had our 25th wedding anniversary. I was still battling cancer. She took the necklace and I said, I tell you what, I don't know what I said to her, but it wasn't very nice.
Right.
And I told her.
So you said it, and that's what I said. Let's go back to what Bill Maher said that she said. See, this is how you know she's a fucking racist. She didn't know what she said. It wasn't very nice. You don't want to repeat what you said because you know you said some racist shit. And I don't give a fuck if you on chemo or not. Chemo don't make you be racist. Let's go back. Because I want you to hear what Bill Maher said to her about what she said, something about this Persian woman or whoever she was, how racist she was.
Not invite, don't know this person.
Oh, let me go back.
My vocabulary.
Right. Okay.
And for Holly, you know, I think I said it all when I printed the text that she sent me after she said I got her fired. In the text, she says, I know it was Julie. I know it was Les. I'm thinking of suing. It's disgruntled ladies.
So, okay. So now what about this story now that I'm reading about something with someone who is Iranian?
Yes.
You
yes.
call the Persian something?
No. They gate crushed my husband's and my.
Now her excuse is now she said no. I didn't say anything racist, right? Then now she's trying to justify why she said what she said. They gate crushed her anniversary, and then she tried to say, well, I was on chemo, and then at the end, she tells on herself. Listen.
Crash.
Wedding anniversary. You were not invited. Don't know who this woman from a hole in the wall. I was on chemo.
So you were
I was
crashed, not invited.
Not invited. Don't know this person. Okay. Don't know her. I wouldn't know.
Not a guest of a guest?
No, don't know her. She gate crashed a party. She
won a raffle.
Which was a diamond necklace.
Right.
And she took it.
Well, she won it. No, right. She did win the raffle. Are you saying she cheated on that too?
Well, no.
I mean, anyone who crashed a party would cheat on a raffle. But I don't know. Okay.
And it was just, it was a very personal thing because we had our 25th wedding anniversary. I was still battling cancer. She took the necklace and I said, I tell you what, I don't know what I said to her, but it wasn't very nice.
Right.
And I told her to bring
That's bullshit. When she said, and she had to pause because she had to catch herself because she was getting ready to tell on herself. And she said, I don't know what I said, but it wasn't very nice. What? Anyway, Sharon Osbourne is a piece of shit and she's a racist and everybody sees it and know it. If you just listen, people, if you just watch the behavior of this woman, you know she's a liar. And listen, some people are just not good communicators. Some people are not good communicators, and so they don't know how to speak or justify, or not justify, but or defend themselves of accusations. That happens. I get that. But she was on a talk show to where you're supposed to know how to justify yourself or know how to defend yourself, or especially if you got a different opinion, you should know how to defend your opinion. So for her not to know how to defend herself of these basic questions that people are accusing her of doing, if you didn't listen, if I didn't say it, I just say I didn't say it. She's lying. She never says that the woman lied. She never said that Holly Robinson Peete was lying. She never said, well, other than the one lady, she said, well, I never said that about the lady. I never said, it's not in my vocabulary. But other than that, she defends the shit or try to go to another different type of subject of talking about something just don't even make any sense. But she never says that the lady was lying. The Iranian woman was lying. She never said that Holly Robinson Peete was a lie. She basically just was saying Holly Robinson was a bitch. She do bitch shit. She do just be bitching. She disgruntled employee. Well, believe it or not, if they that, then Sharon Osbourne, you are the same. Because now you out here running your mouth. Getting on any platform that you can get on to try to defend your racism and your bad behavior on that show. And I'm going to tell you why a lot of this shit that I believe happened, because the simple fact, you got to think of the times that that we were in at that time, where people was getting away with how they was talking and saying shit and treating people in these corporation atmospheres. It was men sexually harassing women. You see how the shit all of a sudden come out now, and now they gone. It's the same shit with Sharon Osbourne. All you see is that the shit been there already. It's just that at that time, it wasn't the time and the place, I guess, at that time to speak up, and it wasn't consequences for these people's actions. It was a different time. So that's why, if you really listen to Sharon Osbourne, she doesn't deny a lot of the shit, right? She victim blames, like she's the victim. Or the other women are the ones that are attacking her. Because now there's consequences for her bad behavior. That's why I tell people, mean what you say. Stand on that shit. Because it's going to be a time where certain shit is just not acceptable. But if you mean what you say and you standing on it, stand on that shit. And now shit comes out later, years later, where that shit is not acceptable anymore. And some of the people that she attacked or victimized and shit like that, they had to sit there and they had to accept it and take that shit. Now they don't. So now they snitches now. Now all of a sudden they the ones that are abusing them, and they trying to cancel these people. No, you the motherfuckers was victimizing people and doing all fucked up shit, and you canceled them because they couldn't speak up, because if they would have spoke up, then most likely something bad would have happened to them. They lost their job. Now all the bad people that said a lot of bad shit in tweets or whatever back in the day where it was acceptable and no consequences for it, now feel like victims because now they're getting called out to the table for their bullshit. And I'm not saying everything that people said back in tweets that we should be so offended to. But if a motherfucker apologize, say, yeah, I said it, I'm sorry, I didn't know no better at that time, but I know better now, and I apologize, I would accept that. But if you still come out and still trying to defend that shit and then try to play victim, or like you the victim because your ass is getting called to the table for fucking shit that you have done, and try to pretend that you the victim, then it's talking about his cancel culture. No, it's not. It just ain't acceptable for your bullshit no more. And I don't feel sorry for you. If you want to be talking about this, you should be canceled because of your fucking attitude. You shouldn't be working in any corporation if you think that that's okay. It wasn't okay when you did it back then, and it's damn sure not okay now. Like, people, I don't sit here and justify my bad behaviors from shit that I did in the past. Now, I could say some of the reasons why I was doing what I did, but that I'm not trying to justify it. I take responsibility for the bad shit that I did. When I was out selling dope, fucking up the community, and a whole bunch of other shit that I did that I look back now and that was some horrible, bad fucking shit that I did. No matter how the system was or whatever, I look back at it now like I shouldn't have did that to my community. I take responsibility. But you don't see me still sitting here trying to justify it. It's still you affected other people. You hurt other people of decisions that you have made back then. I don't understand. People is not self-aware, man. Let's move on, man. Oh, this shit is irritating me.
The fucking necklace back now, you bitch face, whatever, because I've had it. I had it. I'm like, you ruined my party. You ruined everything. I don't even know you.
Okay, so, and maybe this wasn't your finest hour. My point would be, we can't judge everybody by their worst moment.
No.
So maybe you lost your, it's like, how about just, I shouldn't do that. I won't do
First of all, that's not her worst. Sharon Osbourne always had a temper. She always had a real foul ass mouth. Let's just be honest. This ain't nothing new. This ain't, oh, this is one moment. It's like, it's almost saying like, well, the police had a bad day that day and that's why they shot and killed the motherfucker. What? Oh, fuck how bad your day was. Shit has consequences. Even if you having a bad day and you do something so stupid that where it hurts other people, you got to take responsibility for that. You don't just get to say, I just had a bad day. No. Other people got affected. Other people got hurt. Now you can go back and say, listen, I had a bad day and I know I hurt your feelings and shit like that. And I'm sorry and I apologize. That happens. I mean, that's okay to say. But when you hurt people, scar them emotionally with racism and a lot of the shit that they do that cause I was having a bad day, you don't get to just gloss past that. And then she didn't apologize. She justified it. I was having a bad day. She shouldn't have been there. Anyway, let's move on.
I don't. Sorry, I mean, you did issue an apology for this, and it was like I read in it the words like "I'm going to educate myself." No, we could all do better, of course. We could all do better.
I'm trying
but the
to
idea
do better.
that this idea in culture now
Yes.
that people need to re-educate themselves, indoctrinate themselves. I'm sorry, I'm 65.
Well,
you're 68. I know who I am. I don't need re-education.
And now if you move around in life like that, and see, this is the problem with America. Prime example, Bill Maher. I'm 65 years old. I know who I am. Okay. Well, it's people out here that think you and Sharon Osborne, you're 68 and 65 years old, and you don't think that you need, this is that old people shit that pisses me off. A lot of old people do. I'm old. I'm who I am. I'm going to be who I am. But not if your behavior is affecting other people. That's the issue. You can be whoever the fuck you want to be, 65, and you're going to be who you know who you are without being a part of society. And that just is what it is. If you call that cancel culture, it is what it is. Because you want to be an asshole, you want to be a racist or a dickhead or whatever you want to be, because you 65 and you know who you are, then fine. Then you don't deserve to be around others. And people in business can decide that they don't want that 65 or that 68-year-old person being a part of their business. They have the right to do that. Just like you have the right to be 65 or 68 years old and nobody can tell you nothing. You don't have to re-educate yourself. I don't give a fuck how old you are. Everybody can learn something. And if you grew up in a certain areas back in the day that where certain shit was tolerated, that was disgusting, and you was a part of doing that, and you was invited, or you just wanted to get invited, or you invited yourself, or you just was a part of it and grew up in your household or whatever, and you was raised in that fucking racist errors or disrespectful errors to women, men, whatever race, whatever, if you was in that error and you was taught that, there's nothing wrong with you saying out your mouth if you're being honest and you saying what's on your mind. You got the freedom to say. If you really truly think that, then yes, you damn sure need to be re-educated. You don't just go around just saying whatever the fuck you want to people. It's consequences for it. You can talk about the freedom of speech and say all that shit you want. It's consequences for saying certain shit. And I'm not just talking about you lose a job. People get their ass whipped for saying certain shit to people. And it's kind of, it's a lot of tough Tony talk when I hear that, right? I'm 65. I know who I am. I don't have to re-educate myself. I kind of say what I want to say. Listen, Bill Maher, some of the shit that you say, you're around certain black people or certain white people that you can say that shit around. If you're around me saying certain shit that you say out of your mouth, making fun and belittling shit that's very important to me and other people like me, it's going to be a problem, motherfucker. And I don't give a fuck if you 65 years old or not. You could be 6 or 5 years old for all the fuck I care. It's going to be a problem. But they talk that tough shit, and you ain't going to say that shit around certain people. So that's why I be saying, when people talk about, I got the freedom to say what I want to say. It's in the Constitution. I say what I want to say. I'm grown. I'm a grown man. I'm a grown woman. Yeah, but it's consequences for it too. And you keep rolling around society thinking that it ain't no consequences for the shit that comes out of your mouth and how you offend and say certain shit that could offend people, and don't be apologetic about it. See what happens. That's a lesson to all the young folks out there, and to you old, some of you old ass motherfuckers out there that think because you old and I done lived this life this long and I'm at an age where I don't give a fuck. Well, there's some people in the atmosphere that you pretend that you don't live in gives a fuck, and there's consequences for that shit. Let's move on, man.
You get an education at 68. You've been around the world. You're married to a rock star. You've been with the A-listers and rock and roll and everything. Fuck it. Like, you need to, race. Tell me all about it. It's fantasy.
See how dismissive he is? Saying, oh, I gotta sit here and listen to somebody educate me on racism. I guess you don't know about racism if you sit there with that attitude. And see, and that's what I'm saying about an old white guy sitting there acting arrogant of like you can't learn about racism. Listen, it's black people in this country don't know everything about slavery. So for an old ass white man to sit up on a national platform and sit there and act like it ain't nothing you can teach me about racism. What? That letting me know right there, you being so dismissive of that you need to be educated. See, the problem is, I'm just explaining to you people. The problem is the reason some of these white people are mad and upset because especially people like Bill Maher. See, Bill Maher is one of those guys that because he was a Democrat and he sided more to the left and the right, that it ain't nothing that you could tell me because I'm with the black people. I understand what they're going through. I vote for shit for the black people. So now that black people telling you that ain't enough, that's not enough. And you really truly don't understand black people if you think that's just enough. And just because, let me just explain something to people. Just because you are a good white person and you put in some work for black people, don't give you a fucking pass to ignore black issues or black pain or what the fuck we go through and try to pretend that you know exactly emotionally what we go through in this country. You still don't have the right to do that. That's like me sitting there. You know how disrespectful and insulting Bill Maher just was. It's like me sitting there, you know, and I've been say as me, right, as a man, right. I'm sitting here and I'm sitting here telling women that have been raped, right, or just say a woman how they've been being discriminated against because they in the workforce and how women been treated, right. And as a man, I'm sitting there and I'm like, you can't tell me about about no women, about women not getting equal rights. You can't educate me on that. You can't tell me that, right? Mind you, I am part of the gender, right? That has been, doesn't necessarily mean that I have treated this particular woman or women in that manner, but I am a part of a gender that does that, right? And it's shit that I don't know that maybe I have done to women that I sit down and I talk to women that maybe explain to me, you don't supposed to say this or do this to certain type of women. I mean, do this to women. Talk to us in a certain, you get what I'm saying? So, and then I say, you know, I got sisters and, you know, and I'm 40 years old and I've been around, I know how to treat women. You know the arrogance of how dismissive and disrespectful that is to a woman, to women, period. You know anything. You're not a woman. I'm not a woman. How the fuck do I know? Never been a woman a day in my life. So if a woman tells me this is certain things that goes on about them being a woman in a workforce that's dominated by men, and how dismissive we may could be in those atmospheres and how we may treat women in those atmospheres, for me to just dismiss that is insulting. So this dude is sitting on TV saying, I'm 65 years old. You don't get to educate me about racism. Like I don't know. I believe everybody knows, maybe other than very young children. I believe everybody knows about race, but that doesn't make that you're educated in racism. Because just because you know something, you know a lot of something, doesn't mean you know all of it. That's the beauty of being a human being and having a brain and can comprehend that, you know, it ain't too much stuff that you do. It's not, you cannot know everything. So that it's a challenge for you mentally to try to learn more. But when you a motherfucker sitting there just dismissing shit, of acting like it ain't nothing you can tell me about something, that's like me sitting there with a with a with a with a with a person, and I know a lot of shit about what I do know about, right? About my people, right? But I don't know everything. That's like me sitting there to a motherfucking scholar, somebody that been through some shit that I'm trying to learn, that I know nothing really. Well, I know some of it, right? Right, but I don't know. I haven't been in them shoes of a civil rights movement, like in that era. And that's like me sitting there telling me, you ain't got to keep telling me about no civil rights bullshit. I'm 40 years old. I know what's going on. You know how disrespectful that'd be to our ancestors, man, to our elders. Me to sit there and act like I know everything, like you know, like I'm so arrogant to the point that I don't have to listen to them because I already know some things. Because I'm 40 years old and I read the books. And let me just explain something to people like Bill Maher. You motherfuckers are so disrespectful, and this is why black people are hypersensitive. This is why. This is why we so sensitive, because the dismissal, like you dismiss black people in a way of telling us you know enough. Ain't nothing else you can learn that black people can teach you about not being a racist or how racism exists in this country. Like, you know it all. You know everything, right, Bill Maher? You know exactly what is going on. So, Bill Maher, if you know exactly what's going on, why haven't shit changed since you know everything? Why is racism still alive and well? Why is it still here then? Since you know it all. You know everything. Ain't nobody can tell you nothing. You 65 years old. Nobody can tell you anything, Bill Maher. You know what racism is. You know what systemic racism is. You know everything. So how do we fix it? What's the solution? How can we stop this racism? You couldn't answer that fucking question on a good day. So you can take your dismissive and disrespectful comment and your racist ass comment and shove it up your ass for all the fuck I care. Because you are the prime example. Just what you just said is the prime example of white privilege. A white man sitting on a national platform on his show, sitting there telling people, I know everything about racism. You don't try to educate me. When you ain't never experienced racism a day in your life. It ain't never happened to you. You may have seen it before, but it never has happened to you. White people, this is one of y'all Caucasians' disgrace. Bill Maher's a disgrace. This old ass 65-year-old cocksucker, Klan member in a suit, sitting there telling nobody can tell him about racism. He know it all. He's 65. Yeah, all right.
Education, you're 68, you've been around the world, you're married to a rock star, you've been with the A-listers and rock and roll and everything. Fuck, like you need to, race, tell me all about it. It's just.
And a motherfucker say, because she was around a rock star, fuck him off. And more every week, you see Bill Maher. Bill Maher ain't get ready to have that show too long. You see more and more every week, he had these people on here. And the more and more he talks about it, the more and more you see his racism come out. Just because she been around the world and she's been with a rock star, that qualifies her to know everything about racism? What? Oh my God. We just live amongst stupid people. I just don't understand. And then, and mind you, these are people on national platforms. See, it's one thing of just being racist and dismissive and disrespectful. It's another thing of just being plain ignorant and lying, making up shit. Because people, I don't need people to know this. Just because you have an opinion doesn't make it true. It's just a feeling how you feel. But facts is facts. The truth is the truth. We are in a state right now where we're dealing with people because they have an opinion. They think because their opinion is what it is, they feel that way, that makes it true. This is the era that we living in. This man had a nerve to come out of his mouth and say, because she flown around and she's a rock star, she's 68 years old, a white woman at that, and she's married to a rock star, she traveled around the world, she cannot be educated about racism. People, let me explain something to you. My grandmother is 80-something years old, dude. And my grandmother been around a long time, dude. And not she ain't never seen gay people before, or no gay people, or no shit like that, right? My grandmother was 80-something years old. When my cousin came out and shit like that, it probably was a shocker for her. She didn't automatically accept that shit right there and there because, number one, she wasn't educated in it. And at that time, my grandma was in her fucking late 50s. Okay? When my cousin came out and said that she was gay. She didn't know nothing about no fucking gay people like that. So she didn't fully treat my cousin a certain type of way, like dismissed her or treated her badly or some shit like that. But you seen how that some of her ways of, like, you started to see that it bothered her, and it came out of how she treated her in certain ways. So family members told her, like, accept that shit. They educated her in it. We educated her, like, let that shit be. She gonna be who she is, Grand. Like, you ain't gonna be able to change that, blah, blah, blah. Educating her. Telling her, you know how I feel to be discriminated. We black. And then she gay. Come on. Like, it don't matter how old you get, you can still be educated because you don't know shit. That's like a motherfucker that ain't picked up a computer a day in their life. You didn't know how to work a fucking computer. Bill Maher and Sharon Osborne and a whole bunch of other people, even me, myself, everybody. When technology come out, you don't know fully how to work this shit. You got to get taught. You got to get educated. It don't matter how fucking old or young you are. If something new out, don't matter if the motherfucker young or old. You know nothing about it. Right? So you got to get educated. All we deal with stupid people. Listen. I have a bad, like, I get like aches in my stomach, man, to think about how stupid some people are. And the stupid shit that comes out of their mouth, and they say certain shit and they think that shit makes sense. Because their whole notion is, I don't like to be politically correct. People, you just can't go to your boss, and because you disagree with your boss on certain shit, you just go off and cuss them out. Think about what Sharon Osbourne did. She was on a show that worked for a network, for a company, and she went off cussing, screaming, saying all types of fucking foul mouth shit. Right? Now, imagine you working at your 9-to-5 job, and you go and you just have a disagreement, somebody accuse you of something, blah, 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 and you just go off and start cussing people out. So, you know what I mean? Don't you know that they will suspend you or they will fire your ass? Because you shouldn't be using that type of language in that corporation, in that facility. You don't know if executives are walking around in the warehouse or wherever you may work. Man, I done seen people get fired because, real talk, people, I done seen people get fired because they having a conversation and they being pretty loud. And I worked in schools. Right? and you're having a conversation, and a motherfucker having a conversation, and you sitting there and you using foul words, okay? It's kids roaming around, administrators roaming around. You don't know people from the board maybe in the building, and they just cussing up a storm. I seen people get fired for that. Because they let you know that you got to be professional in these settings. You can't say certain shit. See, yes, she got backlash from Twitter and social media for her siding with Piers Morgan. Some of her co-workers had a problem with that. So it came up. She was in the news. Like, it wasn't like she did the shit behind closed doors. She did it in front of media. She did it in front of everybody. When you put something out there on Twitter and social media, that means it's for everybody to see. So your job, your co-workers, and everybody else is going to see this shit. That's why I rarely tweet. I mean, I don't tweet at all. I rarely say shit on Facebook. I do all my talking on my podcast. And anything I say, I don't really give a fuck about that. I mean, I care, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm speaking my truth. I'm standing on it. But sometimes you get caught up in social media saying certain shit that you shouldn't be saying. Because a lot of times I don't think people even think out a lot of shit that they say on social media or the repercussions of what they say. At least when I say certain shit on this podcast, on the show, I maybe said something and then my brain works so fast, I'll be like, damn, I didn't mean it that way. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Not exactly in that way. I have time to check, like check what I said. Like, you know what I mean? Check myself. But when you doing Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and you doing that shit like that and you putting that shit out there so fast, and at the time it seems okay to say, but it's too late now. There's all you didn't put it out, and then you thought about it, it's like, damn, maybe that came back wrong. I mean, maybe I said that wrong. Maybe I tweeted that wrong. Words was wrong. I ain't mean it in that way. That's why I don't really tweet. I mean, I don't tweet at all. I rarely put shit out on Facebook because I like to explain myself directly. I don't need to be typing no shit out that could, because anybody can take tweeting and saying certain shit the wrong way. That's just how that shit works. That's like if you read of somebody write a book, right? Now, the thing I love now, I love the audio because I like to hear what the person is saying. So I have a little more of understanding what they're saying. Because just reading something sometimes, you can comprehend it, but you can take it a certain type of way. But maybe you hearing it from the person and the tone of their voice and the way that they're probably saying it, or the way they maybe ain't meaning it in that way, you can understand that. So that's why I don't tweet. But they had a problem. They had a problem with her siding with Piers Morgan on this issue. So all that was. And she put it out there of that this could possibly be a topic that they could talk about. And let's just be honest. She kept saying she got blindsided. You cannot get blindsided when they ask you, is it okay that we talk about what you said about Piers Morgan? They let her know already before she got on the show. Now, you maybe was probably a little bit shocked that people that you work with maybe had an issue with it. But don't act like you was blindsided. You wasn't blindsided. You just it threw you off that your co-workers that you say that they claim that they know you, that was upset at what you said. That's it. Like they had a right, just like she had a right to be mad that she felt like she was being attacked. So they had a right to feel that her siding with Piers Morgan is some bullshit. But she spazzed out. you notice everybody on the show was calm. They just wanted to talk it out. Not Sharon Osbourne. Sharon Osbourne went off the rails, howling, screaming, acting like the white piece of trash that she is. That's why it was an issue for that network. It wasn't because she sided with Piers Morgan. But they keep trying to make it just about race. It's not. It was her behavior they had an issue with. And how disrespectful she was to the other people on the show. That was the main issue for the network. And I keep telling you, people don't get fired or get let go because they said one thing that was wrong or horrible. I didn't see people make a mistake or say something racist. Matter of fact, prime example, fucking Megyn Kelly. When Megyn Kelly said I didn't see nothing wrong with dressing up in blackface and all that shit, and black people got offended. Listen, the reason that they let her ass go is because she was doing okay in the ratings. Okay, right? She wasn't doing great or nothing like that. And she said this controversial bullshit, and then she got backlash. Then she had black people come on the show and, to try to clean it up, to get herself educated, right? Which she didn't really want to do in the first place, but the company made her bring Roland Martin and the other lady on there. Then the issue was, this is why they let Megyn Kelly go. They canceled her show because of the simple fact that, number one, this is not her first rodeo of saying racist and controversial shit. She just got fired from another network where it was okay to say the shit that she was saying. Then you come to a network where they're not okay with people saying the shit that they said from that Fox network. It's a different audience over there. And so she got a second chance to do another network. She did the network, and she what's her name? She get over there and do the other network, getting a second chance, right? After Trump and all them flipped on her, the Republicans and all them flipped on her and shit like that, right? So she get a second chance, and then you straight go over there with that culture of that white supremacy shit from Fox News and try to bring that on a network that ain't with that dumb shit. And so there's a different audience there. And so some of those audiences of people that was the fans of that show, or audience or viewers and stuff or whatever, right? I meant to say viewers. Viewers, they know who Megyn Kelly is. They remember where she came from, but they wanted to give her a second chance. They give her a second chance, and this is what she did. And people was like, enough of this shit. We can't keep doing this. And so her views went down. And so the network was like, well, she's not worth this. It's not worth keeping her around. Because like I said, it's one thing of you saying something in a wrong and apologizing. But when you are consistently saying racist and bigotry and fucking harmful and disrespectful shit to people, it's a part of who your past. You don't get to keep making the same dangerous mistakes that can affect and hurt other people. You don't get to do that and think that you could get to keep a job. You don't get, and it's just the arrogance of certain white people that they think that it's white privilege for them. They think that because now it's not acceptable, they're not getting third and fourth chances or second chances for their bad behavior, or people don't want to be around them now because you should know better. These people are way too fucking old for you to even be sitting there educating them. And you know what? And Bill Maher, you are right. We don't, as a black person, I don't want to sit there and try to educate you. I don't want to have conversations with people like you, period. I'm okay with that. But the nerve of you to sit there and try to pretend that you can't learn nothing because you 65 years old, you know everything about racism, is insulting to me. And that's the real reason why I wouldn't, as a black person, sit down and want to have a conversation with your goofy ass. Let's move on and finish this up, people. Some bullshit, man.
It's fantasy. People are who they.
This word that they throw out about the cancel culture, and it's like, what are you doing? I'm going to be fine. I'm fine. As I say, I'm a fighter. I'm doing just fine.
But can I read? This is in the tabloids, which I don't read. I do every week. It's one of my guilty. But everyone is lining up to get Sharon Osbourne's first interview. Wait, I'm right here. I did it. What do you?
And she said, so Sharon Osbourne. So if you find why are you out here doing interviews about the issue? If you find, go to fuck and do something else. Why are you on talk shows running your fucking mouth about that issue? And the crazy part about it, this bitch ain't even from here. Take your ass back to Britain. Since you want to defend Piers Morgan and the royal family, go back there. Why the fuck are you here? You ever notice that you never hear white Americans tell these Brits to go back where the fuck they came from? You ever notice that? We need to start telling them motherfuckers, go back over there with the Queen. Take your ass back over there. Fuck you here for? Because actually, you know what? I'm going to say what the racists say. You taking up jobs from somebody else that's American. You foreigners are taking up jobs. If you want to act like that, if you fine, take your ass back home. You ain't from America. You or your motherfucking kids. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about your kids, but I know you and your husband, or at least you ain't from here. I know that for a fact. Anyway, let's move on. Why not? Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne, he may not even be from here either. Now look that up.
Okay. Listen to this. Don't worry about Sharon. She's not looking for work. It's looking for her. There have been offers for Sharon to host her own solo show and even talk of her working with peers on a late night, quote, politically incorrect show. Wait, I did a show actually called Politically Incorrect. It's exactly what
I've heard none of this. None of this. That's not true. But however, I'm a fighter.
First of all, she's lying like a bitch. She has heard it. She has heard it. She's a fucking liar.
Fine, I'm doing just fine.
Right.
What about the people that are cut from the knees down and they can't afford to go and get lessons on what's politically correct and how to talk to people? It's what happens to them?
Right. That's a great.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
What ain't fair is that you are 68 years old and you still don't know how to talk to people. That's what's not fair. And people still gotta listen to your whiny ass voice. That's what's unfair. Talking about people that don't know how to not be politically correct. It's unfair to them. No, it's not. You are 68 years old and you don't know how to be so-called politically correct or just know what not to say and what to say and how to conduct yourself at 68 years old, Sharon Osbourne. You the victim, bitch. And the people that act like you is victims? Are you stupid, bitch? Now you being oppressed? Get the fuck out of here. These people crazy, man. Let's move on, man.
It isn't about being a racist. It's about maybe not knowing what is correct and woke for your language that day, because it changes from day to day. What is correct? Right.
First of all, no, it's not. And let me just make this very, it's not about being politically correct. Okay? I explained this earlier. This woman was notified. She's put like this. She did this shit herself. This is the shit that's irritating me. She did this shit to herself. You decided, because Piers Morgan is your friend, he getting controversy, you figured that you could step in because you Sharon Osbourne, and maybe people will look at it from your point of view because you felt like your voice had more weight. Right? Guarantee you that's what she thought. Right? So you decided to tweet and defend him when he was already getting backlash. I give you one thing, you was being loyal. I give you that. You was being loyal, having loyalty to a racist. I give you that. But you decided to do that. Nobody asked for your opinion. Nobody demanded it. Nobody asked you to defend him. None of that shit. Cancel culture did not ask you to say a motherfucking thing. You decided because you Sharon Osbourne, this white privileged plastic surgery built face bitch, a foul mouth whore that decided that you wanted to go out and say your say as an American citizen with a green card, bitch. I'm always skeptical of people got green cards. Sorry. That don't mean I'm discriminating against them or nothing like that. I'm just always skeptical. Ain't no problem with that. Especially when you get over here and you try to pretend you want to follow these rules over here. Britain got the same rules that we got over here. Why the fuck you ain't over there? You came over here to get that paper. That's all it is. But anyway, so she decided that. Then for some odd reason, she didn't think that was going to be an issue by backing this dude. So her employees say, you know what, this is a good opportunity that where we could talk about this issue. Sharon is most likely, she is the face of this shit right now. She's getting the backlash. Let's see what her opinion. They gave you an opportunity. They asked you. Was it okay that we talk about this? They gave you the opportunity. So nobody canceled you. They gave you an opportunity. You decided that you didn't like what how your co-workers felt about the issue. Decided to spaz out. Be disrespectful, cursing, and all types of shit on that network. You did that, Sharon Osbourne. Nobody canceled you. Everybody gave you the network that you're bashing and the co-workers. They all gave you an opportunity to go in there and explain yourself. You wanted to go in there on some ignorant white trash, some white trailer trash clan member shit. You decided to act that way. Nobody made you act that way, and it ain't everybody's responsibility to educate. I thought y'all old enough to understand that nobody could tell you about race or how you can conduct yourself. You 68, and people say, "Well, she didn't say that." She didn't correct Bill Maher for saying what he just said. She just let him say it. That's why I said, listen, you don't allow people to say certain shit around you if you ain't and then get mad. And if you ain't going to debunk what they say or say, I don't think that way, that's bullshit. If you ain't willing to do that and you stand by and you allow people to say shit in your presence, number one, you are a coward. And then number two, you accept what that person has said. So you got to accept the backlash from it. It just is what it is. And so, and mainly what it is, all I hear is my new word of the year is people are not are very self-aware of their own behavior. They're not self-aware, or they just don't care, or they just among stupid people. These people think that they can just say whatever they want and there's no consequences, and then they go and scream out cancel culture. It's cancel culture. They just want to cancel everybody. Nigga, if you give me $10 million to shut the fuck up from this podcast, I will. And live my life. And do the shit that I really truly want to do as far as helping the people. But this is my lane right now, the way I can help people in my own way. This bitch should be gone somewhere and shutting the fuck up. If she's so fine, why is she still running her fucking mouth? No, and don't pretend that you give a fuck about other people being counseled. You being a victim, you talking about yourself. They trying to counsel me. Nobody wants to work. And let me be very honest with you, my people. The only job that's probably offering Sharon and saying, come work with us or do something with us is a bunch of right-wing racist pieces of shit. Nobody right now is fucking with her in Hollywood. It was proven. And like I said, they didn't fire her. She quit. Because you want me to tell you why? Because she was mad because she had conversations with that network and saying how you was acting was out of pocket. We can't have that. Oh, I can't say how I feel? No. That's what happened to this woman. And she's trying to sit there and play victim. You quit.
And what isn't. And you read white fragility.
Right. Yeah. Somebody gave you that. Oh, that woman gave you the book White
Elaine
Fragility.
gave it to me. And I read it. And some of it is very informative. And the other, I'm like, I don't agree with you.
Exactly. I don't have to agree with everything. I mean, the idea in there is that
nobody got mad at you because you disagree with some of them. That's not the issue. Your issues are how you conducted yourself on that show. It's had nothing to do with your white privilege or anything. It's how you conducted yourself. I'm putting race to the side. The way you acted, yes, they should have let your ass go. And they wasn't going to let you go. You decided to leave. They always trying to make it seem like it's everybody else making it about race, but they make it about race too. They are so not self-aware of their own actions. And then they wonder why they get backlash. She chose to act like a fucking ass on that fucking show. Fuck out of here. Had nothing to do with anybody else but her.
Choices. If you're white, you're either a racist or a racist and you don't know it. I'm not down with that.
Who told you that? And and that's why I said, if that's what you interpreting when you have conversation with certain black folks or certain good white folks that understand racism a little bit, that's allies to the black community and other minority people. If that's what you get from what they are saying, then there's something that's wrong with you. Because it is no way impossible that I assume that anybody is racist. I don't assume white people is automatically racist because I don't know you to know that. But I damn sure know one thing, that you do have a bias. And parts of it do have a racial undertone. And let me tell you why I know that for a fact. Bill Maher and some of you other stupid ass white folks. It's because I do. I have a bias, and and that bias leads to race sometimes. Don't make me bad. Long as I do not discriminate or speak badly about all people or treat people a certain type of way or discriminate against them, I can have that thought. Long as I don't react on it. It doesn't mean because I'm biased towards white people in a certain type of way because of my experiences mean that I go around and treat all white people that I don't know or assume that they all racist. But I do have a little of a bias. But that doesn't necessarily make me think that you are a racist. I'm just aware that it's a possibility. That's what my bias is. It's a possibility. Just like if I see a motherfucker sitting on a corner, I ain't see him sell no drugs. He might just be standing there waiting on somebody. But I have a bias. If I'm in the hood and I see a motherfucker on the corner, he could be, you know who the fuck he could be. He could be a drug dealer. He could be, he robbed niggas. I don't know. But it's a bias. But I'm not going to walk up to him and assume that he's that. And tell him that I think you're a rob. I think you're a drug dealer, man. What you doing? Ain't nobody walking up to white people and saying to them, I think that you are a racist. And just because they disagree with some of the shit that we say, we think that they're racist. We can just say, how about we just say that if we talking about racist issues and you say that you disagree with that, we could say that you got a blind spot for what we're talking about. That can happen. And like I said, people only think the way people only think the way that they think now is how they've been raised and what they know. You get what I'm saying? That's why we all different in a way. We can all grow up in the same fucking neighborhood, but that don't mean that we all the same. That's the great thing about being a human being first. Before I'm black, I'm a human being first. It's a great thing. I could be me and my wife. We live in the same house every day. I ain't nothing like her. I ain't gonna say nothing like her, but I'm not. We're total opposites. But we believe in the same things and stuff like that join us together and shit like that, where we can come together, bring happiness to one another, but we don't agree on everything. And there's always a little bias between the both of us about each other. But that doesn't mean that we treat each other that way. And just because you have the freedom to speak, to say what you feel that you're thinking, doesn't make it right. That's the whole issue. And like I said, white people, some of you white people can sit here and pretend that you are victims and you're running around talking about you being canceled. I don't give a fuck. And for all this feelings that all of a sudden you feel for being canceled and being discriminated against, why you can't understand why black people feel the way they feel? That's what always mind boggled me. It never makes me feel good when I see certain white racist shit happen to other black people. And the racist shit happen and I see another white person. It does trigger me. It does like I have this doubt. Who this white person? This white person might be a good white person or not. I don't know. Because you don't know. But you don't go into it assuming and treating that person like they're racist automatically out the gate. That's what a lot of white people do in this country and other minorities. That's what they do. But now they're bad because they're getting pointed out. They're assuming that people feel that way about them. I told you, don't ask black people to do something that you ain't willing to do. You stop walking around. You can walk around with your biases and all that shit because everybody got it. But you acting on it and saying shit out your mouth to black and minority people in this country is the issue. It's not what you really truly thinking. Because we all got our own thoughts of how we look at other races of people. It's how we treat other people. Because I can assume any fucking thing. I can feel anything from white people. I can assume that all white people are racist. I can assume that. But does it make it true? Because I had bad interactions or I haven't seen certain white people treat other black people a certain type of way, so I assume all white people like that. See, what that does, that doesn't make me no better than the racist. So if I can comprehend that as a black person, I don't know why the fuck some white people can't understand that. Let's move on, people.
No, I'm not down with that.
I know who raised me.
That's right.
I know who my friends are.
You know who you are.
I know how I've treated people.
That's right.
Right.
And the thing is, you cannot blanket any race. You can't.
Yeah, but you know how you treated people, though, Bill Maher? You went on your own show and you thought it was okay to say the N-word. Since you know who you are, you know who the people that you hang around. People that knew you, that you hung around, came on your show, or was out tweeting against you for saying that shit. So who are you? Are you a comfortable white man that thought that it was very okay to say the N-word, knowing that it's an issue, but you chose to do it anyway? Or I'm sorry, or is it a mistake? The arrogance of these two white people sitting here pretending that they're victims. I just can't say what I want to say anymore. And this is what happens when you get too much money and too much of a leeway in life, the way you just don't give a fuck about other people. You just only care about what you can say and only your feelings. I can't say what I want to say anymore. Like, you know how bad sometimes I want to call certain people the F word and not mean it in a way of trying to disrespect gay people, because I'm not trying to make them feel bad, because some heterosexual people make me upset. I just want to call them the F word, but I know saying the word offends gay people. I want to say that word all the time, but you know what? I know it hurts other people. And just because I want to say it so bad doesn't mean that I should say it, because you know why? Saying it affects other people. These are old, bitter ass racist Klan members sitting on TV in a Klan interview, trying to white-splain to us. I just can't do what I used to do anymore. They're taking it all the races and all the disrespectful and the homophobic shit that I used to say. I used to say whatever I want. I can't say it no more. And this is why we are in the state that we are in this country, because of these type of white people. They got a platform to sit here at a Klan interview and talk down to the rest of us like we're all against them. And like I said, if they do feel that way, yes, I am against you. I know that you can't cancel people, but if they get your ass off TV and we don't have to see your monkey asses, I'm okay with that. Because people like you are not helping. You are in the way. You are a problem. You are selfish. If you think this shit is all about you, listen, at a certain age in your life, my people, life ain't always about you. Especially when you are living comfortably. These are millionaires complaining that they can't say what they want to say. Motherfucker, please. Go on vacation or something, man. Go buy another big $1 million house or something. Go sit at the pool, drink you some mimosas or something. Nigga, I don't know what they drink. And shut the fuck up. Because we trying to get shit pushing over here. We ain't got time to even... Listen, I don't want to try to educate you old Wrinkle Clan members. I don't give a fuck. I don't have time to be sitting here trying to educate these stupid people. There's no reason to. People say, Kitty, what you doing it? No, I'm not. I'm talking to the people. I'm talking to the people that want to learn more and want to know what's going on and want to know how to treat other people. Because maybe you may not know. Maybe it's something that sparks something in you that make you want to make a change, for all I know, in a positive way. Maybe you made a mistake and said something to a person that you shouldn't have said, and now you got to go back and apologize. Listen, that's what this is about. I don't give a fuck about these white racists. I don't. If they are racist, I don't give a fuck if they're minorities or whatever they are, sellouts. I don't care. I don't do this shit. I don't speak for them. I'm not speaking to them. I give less fuck about them. Just like you hear them sitting there on this show, you hear Sharon Osborne and Bill Maher sitting there acting like they're victims and they don't really care about what other people think because they old and they basically feel that they should be able to say whatever they want. If that is true, say the F word, say the N word, say all the disrespectful shit you want, because if you think that's what you can say it. It's your right to say it. You can say it, and see what happens. Let's end this shit.
No, there's good and bad in every race. You don't blanket.
We'll see you on your next show. I believe the Inquirer. All right. Sharon Osborne, everybody.
And see, you gotta think about this. It's now you got white people sitting here trying to tell other people you don't blanket everybody as one. Who told you that? We told you that. Black people did. Don't try to use our shit against us. And nobody, I know, and see, this is the problem with the social media too. I can't even blame this on social media. This is the problem with people that are addicted to social media like her. If you can't understand the difference between people that just having a fucking opinion on social media, that sometimes that they just, people are oversensitive on social media. If you don't understand the difference between that, then something is wrong with you. And who is you to white explain to us about some shit? About blanketing everybody? Black people told you that. You didn't tell us that. We told you that. Because we got sick of being sick of motherfuckers pretending that all black people are the same. We told you that. Now you want to try to throw that shit in our face like we're doing it to you. Nobody walking around before this situation calling Sharon Osbourne a racist. Nobody did that. And you think because you didn't say anything racist in your way, that because you don't understand. This is how delusional these people are. This is the reason that they don't know nothing about racism. They claim they know it all, right? Listen, if you associate with somebody that is a racist, then you are a racist. And it just is what it is. I don't know how any other way you can define that or excuse it. That's like a motherfucker sitting there and saying, hey, I know him. He ain't no rapist. But all evidence showed that this motherfucker is a rapist. That's like a motherfucker saying he's a male chauvinist. how he like, and he says some shit that's, you know, male chauvinist type shit. How he say shit to women, or how he treat women. If he got a past of doing that shit, then he's a fucking male chauvinist. And if he consistently doing what he was doing in the past, he's a male chauvinist. It just is what I don't understand these people, man. Give me a second, people. All right, people, let me get out of here, man. I gotta get the painting real quick, man. I'll see y'all later, man. Leave y'all comments, hit that like button, support your boy, Kenny, man. Peace and love to the world.